following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin' Cowboys. Streaming live from Dallas Cowboys training camp in Oxnard, California.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Buried, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it into the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
And welcome into Talkin' Cowboys from Oxnard, California. Good, happy Wednesday to everybody. Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, I am Rob Phillips, Caden Gates, and William Boykins producing just over yonder at the tent. The Sandblaster's back this morning. Mickey's feisty. We're ready to roll here.
It's chilly this morning.
Yeah, it is.
I almost had to wear my sweatpants.
Got your Harbor jacket on? You're
That's
ready
right.
to roll.
This feels like Bar Harbor all of a sudden.
Nice place there, that Bar Harbor.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is. What about that practice yesterday?
What about it? We can start right there. Cowboys got
we're
another.
going to talk football?
Yeah, we'll talk some football.
We're going to talk a lot of football. We can talk a little
my
contracts.
mom asked we talk football today.
I got a
My
whole,
mom watches this show every day. Hi,
I got
Mom.
a whole page
Love you
of
guys.
contract stuff right here.
Oh, you got contracts?
We can get to it.
Yeah,
we can get to it.
Rob will get to it now. He'll get to it.
Yeah. Miss Broaddus always keeps us in line.
She's not afraid to say when the show's not good, too. I love her for that.
I love it. I
Yep.
love it. And by the way, fans on Periscope.
Yes, we
hey,
love questions.
Tweet
too.
at Brian.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
And we'll get to those too during the show. But yeah, we've got Zeke update, Dak Amari update. We can get to that a little bit later. We've got what you doing there?
We got a hand.
We got some injury
And a
updates.
Finger, yeah.
We've got a practice update.
Yeah.
I got some questions for you guys on some.
I love this.
Some progress reports
I
on
love
some
this.
of these guys. We got a big show today. Why don't we start with the injury
Yeah.
news? Robert Quinn, break it down for us, Dr. Spagnola.
Got a broken bone in his hand. Had to go back home to have it surgically repaired, which means they're putting a pin in one of these little small bones in your hand. I think I read where they compared it to DeMarco Murray's broken hand, so that means probably one of these bones right here, right?
Absolutely right.
And that he should be able to get back in play by the season opener. And I would imagine, if I remember with Murray, he kind of padded it up.
Had the Mickey Mouse hand.
Wrapped it up, and he had to carry the football.
He sure
Robert
did.
Quinn doesn't have to carry the football, so it might hurt him from grabbing the offensive tackle, but looks like he should be back, and then we'll see where the Luke Gifford's broken finger goes.
I was right there when he was walking off with one of the athletic trainers. That looked painful.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Dislocated finger.
Yeah.
They're checking to see if there's more in there.
Right.
Something in addition to a
you
dislocation.
Put a splint on it, wrap it up.
Yeah.
1964.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Middle linebacker, Chicago Heights.
You know, going
Dick
back.
Butkus wouldn't let a finger keep him
Exactly.
out.
Going back on the Quinn injury, happened when he was trying to swat Tyrone Smith, and he caught Tyrone Smith's brace. You know, Tyrone Smith wears the big
It's a
brace.
big old brace.
Like he's got a knee brace. If you haven't seen Tyrone Smith, he wears basically a knee brace on his elbow. That's how big of a his arm is to have to take the brace, and it fits like an elbow brace. But anyway, Quinn tried to slap him with the left hand, got the left hand extended. It went into Smith's brace. Smith was trying to get rid of his hands, and the brace came across, and it just bent his hand. You could see the impact of the brace on the bone or on the top of the hand, and as soon as it happened, Quinn knew. He just stopped. He just stopped his rush, and his hand was basically just hanging like that. But a lot of it had to do. He was trying to get inside leverage on Tyrone Smith on the rush, left hand extended, and Smith's brace just caught him right on that, and that's what broke the bone.
And there was some suspense out here. Obviously he's going to be an important player for this team, and head athletic trainer Jim Maurer spent a lot of time after practice with the Jones family updating them, and you're kind of wondering for a second what's going on here.
Yes.
Stephen Jones let everybody know what's going on with him. It's a significant injury because it's the caliber of player it is, obviously. And it's good that they expect him back for week one. But, man, that's the other side of the pass rush where, DeMarcus Lawrence is coming back from an injury too. And so you're pointing for both of those guys for week one. If it's going to happen now.
Where's the taco drop?
Aha. Saw a taco rush yesterday, though, against. I think you guys might have saw it as well.
Yes.
Sack?
The sack.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, it was.
It would have been a sack fumble.
You know, it's funny that the way that Taco did, he showed balance. And when Taco shows balance, he has a chance. I was down in the corner of the bag drills where they go through. If you ever come out to camp, and we love to see you, say hello along the fence if you do. The thing that you know, Rod Marinelli, he went through the bags and he was better, and you know, you could tell that Rod Marinelli, I don't think it's just cheerleading. I think Rod Marinelli will tell you if you're doing good. If Rod Marinelli doesn't think you're doing good, he'll get on you. And there were a couple of those reps over there in the bag area where, you know, you could hear Rod Marinelli, that's it. You know, and he's kind of encouraging him. We all talk about Taco. It's just a spin move. It's no balance.
Yeah.
It's nothing to it. He's rushing now with a little bit of a purpose. And like Mickey said, and you said yourself, Rob, you know, Quinn going out, next man up, whether you buy that or not, guys like Dorrance Armstrong, Taco, these guys, any time he gets reps against Tyrone Smith and has a little bit of success, you know, that's got to give you some encouragement. That's all I say about it. You go up against the Travis Fredericks, the Zach Martins, even the Lyle Collins to a point, and you have a little success against them, you can have big success against other people in this league.
You know, Dorrance Armstrong, I think last Thursday, won a one-on-one rep against Tyrone Smith.
Yeah.
And it's like you've said all along, if you win 1 out of 5,
Yeah.
that's a win.
That's a win.
That's a win, and you can take that with you. And Dorrance Armstrong, by the way, before the injury, was getting left end first-team reps yesterday.
Yeah, sure was.
Well, he almost got put on the sideline by Tyrone Smith on the one-on-one pass rush.
I'm saying 1 out of
came,
5.
He
Just
came,
1 out of 5.
No. He came up limping. He hurt his ankle, and they rewrapped it, and he came back in and had a good team session. But he almost got buried. Taco had really good one-on-ones. Pass rush yesterday.
Sure did.
Now, if he can only go up against Mitch Hyatt and Jake Campos all the time, he'd be a Pro Bowler because he destroyed those guys. He still doesn't understand that spin move to the inside, that you can't spin before you make contact with the guy.
Right.
He spins too early, and all they do is sit there
They
and
wait.
catch him.
They catch him, yeah.
And so he's got to learn that. But at least he was making progress, I thought, with those spin moves.
Yeah, the rush that he got Tyrone Smith on wasn't a spin move. It was Tyrone Smith's hand came up high, Taco able to dip it. You know, but like you said, Mickey, have a plan before you get to where you need to be. And he was able to get, once Smith's hand went high, Taco got that shoulder underneath and then was able to sharpen the angle there. That's what he's got to do more. These guys out here know the smart ones. Tyrone Smith, Lyle Collins, those guys, when they know they go against him, he's going to spin. It's like riding a bull if you're a bull rider. And not that I'm a bull rider or anything, but you know this bull is going to buck 3 times and spin to the left. You know, I mean, you've seen it enough. You've seen it enough that you say, okay, I'm going to sit here. I'm certain now I got to get ready for that spin, you know, shift my weight. And that's what these offensive linemen are doing. The Mitch Hyatts of the world and guys like that, Jay Campos, they haven't seen that. Yeah. So it's hard for them to kind of, and, you know, the athletic ability is a little bit, well, not a little bit, a lot less off with those two guys.
Do you think the Cowboys have a scouting report on the Bulls?
You know, yeah, you need.
There's what this bull does.
Pamplona?
Yeah. I tell you what, running with the Bulls, that's something I want to do, actually.
No, you do not.
Yeah, I do. You know, it's always somebody from Illinois that gets hurt doing that, by
Somebody
the way.
gets hurt
Illinois.
every year. They
Every
get
year
gored.
Here we go.
They don't get hurt.
We're going off the path, but in Pamplona, I've checked this. There's a statistic. I swear to you that there's every year somebody from Illinois gets killed running with the Bulls.
Is that right?
There's something that happens to the state of Illinois at running with the Bulls that
Speaking
it's
of
not
Illinois,
on my bucket list either.
Speaking of Illinois, I met Kellen Moore's dad. He came up and introduced me. He was introduced himself at practice.
There you go.
We basically
Coach Moore.
We basically grew up a forest preserve away from each other.
There you go.
When his dad was coaching.
Illinois, good state there. That Illinois.
His high school coach.
Yeah, he's still coaching too. Oh, by the way, his brother coaches at Fresno now.
Right.
It's in their genes. I'm
their
telling
genes.
you.
Tell you what,
Sure.
I thought he had a good day calling plays yesterday. He went after Chris Richard and those guys. Showed us a couple little things different, some wrinkles, some wrinkles.
So before we get to that, I've got a list here of guys that either didn't practice because of injury, didn't practice because they were in Cabo, or didn't practice because they had
there
a
more than
vet.
one?
They had a vet date. 16 guys did not participate yesterday.
Still had a good practice.
And by the way, they signed a guard – he's listed as a tackle.
Okay, you pronounce his name.
Lucaeus McNeil?
Lucaeus?
I think so.
Yeah.
I
thought it was Lucas, but Lucaeus? I haven't heard.
Maybe it is Lucas. I'm not sure.
I think it's just a funny way of spelling Lucas.
Okay. All right. So
it's McNeil.
Yeah.
He's a rookie out of Louisville. He's 6'6", 328. He's listed as a tackle, but he played guard as well in college.
He's going to be both.
He was listed as a guard in Oakland.
Yeah, and I think that's terrible English. I think that what we're going to see is Brandon Knight be a full-time
He's already
a
guard. Full-time
he
guard.
guard.
Yeah.
He's at guard, and they're trying to shuffle things around. One of the other rookies, Derek Pooney,
he was out.
It was out as well. So they are razor thin at guard.
They
right
cannot
now.
have that happen. Derek Pooney does not. He can't. If you're a guy trying to make this team, and trust me, I appreciate injury. I understand injury. I'm having a terrible.
Not appreciate it.
I'm having a terrible show today already. It's no different. But the thing is, though, if you're one of those guys, you can't be hurt. If you're Derek Pooney, you're fighting for a practice squad spot.
You know what?
You're trying to show toughness and be a reliable guy and get in these games and do some good and maybe be a practice squad guy.
It's a big reason Rico Gathers got released when he did, because not only was it a numbers game, but he was dealing with an ankle.
Right.
And he wasn't really ready to go full go. All right, go down your list, man.
And by the way, Lance Lenore is in that same boat. He can't miss.
Right? The ship's sailing.
And Westry, same thing.
Boat. Bye. They'll put you on that final list.
Bye.
It's like, okay, rehab, get healthy, and see ya, because can't. Okay, so Amari, Lenore, Westry, Zach Martin, Wickman, DeMarcus Lawrence, Tyrone Crawford, Noah Brown, Connor McGovern, Sean Lee, Byron Jones, Zeke, Travis Vetday, and then Pooney. And then before it was over, Gifford and Quinn. That's a long list.
That's practice.
And there's some important guys in there, too.
C.J. Goodwin in there.
Oh, good one, 17.
There's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't
Mickey
seen him.
I
haven't seen him in so long. I forgot he was here.
Mickey did a show at 6:20 local time, and he forgot good. You haven't seen him though. Yeah.
No, you haven't.
Where's he been? He's been standing on the sideline.
Yeah, next to you. That's never a good thing.
You're
so
right.
That's too many.
This is the dog
and they haven't
days
played a
of
game.
camp.
They haven't played a game yet.
Yeah.
So they got to get through this week, because I would imagine next week, get back. Monday will be an easy day. I think I saw a walkthrough on Monday, maybe. And then you practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and you leave on Thursday.
Yeah. They're getting down to the last few practices out here. So if you live in the Oxnard area,
Please come see us, yeah.
There's only a few of these left. All right, any other standouts from practice? I got one.
I got a bunch, but go ahead.
How about that number 18?
Yes.
How about Randall Cobb?
I don't want anybody else asking questions about him.
Yeah.
Where's he at? What's he doing?
Yeah. Randall Cobb played well yesterday.
Down the field.
But guess why he played
well? How about number 4 throwing the ball?
The quarterback was driving the ball down the I mean, driving it.
Yes.
Very sharp in the team period.
Yes.
And 7-on-7
7 on 7. He lit them up.
And you and Dave did Training Camp Live.
Please check that out.
Yeah.
Rob Phillips today, by the way, on that.
Is it my day today?
Yeah.
All right. Tony Pollard, very involved with the first-team offense in the early
Tony
team
Pollard's
periods.
making up for the 17 people that didn't practice yesterday.
I mean,
he's moved up the ladder.
Every time you turned around, it was draw to Pollard for a sizable gain.
Motion out, screen it to him.
Screen to Pollard in the flat. I mean, he was highly involved with the first-team offense. And Alfred Morris, by the way, moved up with some second-team reps yesterday.
Alfred Morris, I was going to say that. The thing about Pollard, what's good about Pollard is the fact that the OC was on board with getting him. So if you're one of those guys that's on board with like trying to bring a player on,
better use him, huh?
Better use him. It better not be. You better not have the owner or general manager walk in there and go, Kellen, we drafted this kid. You going to do anything with him?
Right,
no. It's to the point where maybe the general manager's going to have to say, hey, listen, we need to give this kid a vet day. Just to catch his breath. You know? Yeah. Doing well. And Weber doing well as
Weber
well.
as
He's
well.
coming on, and they could not cover Witten yesterday.
Yeah.
No.
The old man, he's found the fountain of youth somewhere.
Right?
At ESPN, at Bristol, when he was up there, he was bathing himself in the fountain of youth. Because if you look at him running routes, he doesn't have that mummy look, that stiff, that kind of guy. Like Frankenstein
it's
walking.
Like his hips are working better.
Yeah, he's got some flexibility to his game. Now let's see what happens in week 13 and week 14, where maybe the body starts. But it's amazing how he looks now as opposed to what we saw a year ago removed when he was retiring that day.
It's almost like he's turned back the clock 5 years.
Well, he's moving a lot better.
That's what I mean.
But it has to do with in training camp live yesterday. I was telling Rob, I was telling David, I go, you get him inside 18 yards where it's just a short burst and then some finish. Jason Witten is going to wear you out. He did it. Yes, he ran. They got down there inside about the 9-yard line, and he found the perfect spot between a linebacker and a safety, and just curled it back inside. And Dak knew where he was going to go with the ball. He knew Witt was just going to uncover himself. Boop, right there, easy throw, touchdown.
Yeah, it's like those 10 months off. Just kind of got rid of all the nagging stuff that had been bothering, just the aches and pains for over 15 years
of not missing anything.
So once again, we saw where everybody was all hot and bothered about how well the defense played in the blue-white scrimmage, and then they come back on Tuesday and the offense kind of took over again. It volleys back and forth.
It's exactly what Jason Garrett told us the other day. He appreciates the defense, offense. I mean, that's good for his team. If we're out here every day and it's like, my gosh, Mickey, there's a lot of questions in that secondary. They can't cover anybody. And then we do 5, 6, 7 shows in a row where that's all we talk about, then that's not good overall for the team.
That's one side of your team probably stinks. If it's getting constantly beat,
Trust
and
me,
that's not the case.
I've been on those teams where one side of the team stunk.
Yeah.
And it's no
or
fun.
both sides.
Yeah, you cover that. That was a Mickey and Nick Eatman, they remind me every day of how bad of a scout I was.
I don't think it was scouting. I think the salary cap had a lot to do with what was going on.
We botched that a lot. But anyway, that's another day.
I'll give you.
We got some Deep Blues coming. Hey, your Deep Blue, huh? Coming out?
Deep Blue, welcome to Switzerland. 2 words coming out today, 3 o'clock Central Time.
I love looking back at that stuff.
So where do I find it?
You can find it on DallasCowboys.com, the mobile app, our social channels, our connected TV app. Anywhere you want to go.
Any real TV?
It's going to air locally on Channel 11, I believe, before the game.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
If you're in the area, check it out.
This Saturday. I believe that's correct.
You guys work so hard on that. That's good stuff.
Set my DVR.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah.
No problem.
Check that out. And thank you to Coach Switzer for letting us into his home back in February and spending some time with us. So that was fun. Recapping 94 and 95 back then.
Could you have had a 2-hour show if you just aired the interview?
No doubt. No doubt. As fun as interviewing Bill Parcells was last year, that you talk about two personalities from the head coaching position.
I still think we should do that.
Just
air
the outtakes.
Just air the
those were
interview.
funny. Hey, Mike Bradley wants to know, we were talking about Witten a little bit, but do you think 60% of the snaps for him would be good? Is that a low number, a high number, something? I wanted to kind of get that answer before
That's a great question. I don't have a feel for it at this point. I know it's not going to be 99. You know, and I know it's not going to be less than 50. I think he's going to be out there a good bit, right?
Well, that's the way they've been practicing it, but they also have been using quite a bit of 2 tight end. And Blake Jarwin, I don't think they want to lose Blake Jarwin. Like, they want to use him. And even in some of those nickel situations when they got to get the ball down the field, they've been putting him in there.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they split it. I think they realize they can't wear Witten out.
I think you're right about that, Mickey. That's a great
more than anything else.
Great view right there. Yeah.
Can't wear him out. So you want him in there for, Brian said game 13.
Yeah.
Make sure he's still fresh and going.
And now you're in a position where you have a couple young tight ends that have been in the league, have played. Dalton Schultz
a big
as well.
Difference. That is a big difference right now.
That can shoulder some of the load.
So in the scrimmage, they called a double hold on him. I never heard of a double hold. Does that mean you held on Witten?
On Witten.
They held him twice.
He's
or
one of the
did
best
two guys,
holders I've ever seen.
Or two guys held the same guy. I'm not sure, but he was giving that official what for. Oh, he was fired up. And it was like the first play of the team portion of the scrimmage.
Whitney could be very violent in his discussions with not only teammates, but but also with but it was NFL officials. And
Yeah.
It's kind of like he had 16 weeks of pinup watching them from a booth do things, and he said, "You know what? I'm going to give this side judge, back judge, whoever, a lot of grief."
He gave it to him.
A lot of grief.
My. And I could see the fire in his eyes.
He was upset.
That was the first play. But good.
Yeah, absolutely.
They need more of that.
Question again, if I could. We talked about Brandon Knight a little bit. Does he have a shot here? Does he have a shot to beat out a Suafilo or somebody like that? Could he be the 10th lineman? Could he be the 9th lineman? Or are we just
We kind of touched on that at the end of the show.
or is that
yesterday.
just out of necessity a move and let's see how it goes? I think he's setting himself up for a practice squad spot.
I know they like him. It's just it could be a numbers crunch though. To your point.
But is Suafilo like our odd? Would Suafilo be your 9th lineman?
I'm trying to count who.
we
I
did
think
this
a lot happens. Remember, a lot happens. What happens with McGovern? Do they have to carry him or not? Because if you count McGovern, then that's 4 backups right there. If you count Suafilo, Fleming, and Looney, and now the 10th spot is they'll probably keep a young. I don't know if they would keep 2 young guys.
Right.
And I just think with Zach Martin's situation, you probably hang on to Suafilo.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good point.
They got to cover
Yeah,
themselves.
they got to cover this because Suafilo did make starts,
Yeah.
and I think Jason Garrett talked about that a little bit yesterday. That Suafilo was important to what they did. He's not my ideal guy.
No, he's not.
But because I've learned from Mickey, I've learned this from you actually, Mickey.
Uh-oh.
Usually you have a pretty good eye for these offensive linemen because you were on it about Fleming. I don't think Fleming has killed him yet. But there are some moments where but I think with Suafilo, there's those moments where you go, oh no, he gets overextended or he's got power, he's got the stuff you'd like, but he's limited. He's
gets
really
too heavy. I think.
He's real limited the way he Hey, speaking of offensive lineman, Rob, I'm sorry, I know you're running this show. How about the 2 reps that Connor Williams had against Malik Collins yesterday in the compete period? Did you get a chance to see that?
Stood him up. Did a nice job.
Twice. And
Yeah.
so there was a time, this time last year, that would not have happened.
Because he would get overpowered.
He would get overpowered.
Because how many times in this camp, we've seen Malik Collins just use pure power?
I think Malik Collins is
seen
one
him-
of the 3 best players in this camp so far.
and it's a progression just from a couple days ago where he put Connor Williams on his back.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can tell, I mean, the bulk is there. He obviously weighs more, but that's a good sign that, he has improved his strength.
And wouldn't you like to keep him?
Who? Malik Collins. I tell you,
Keep him.
Stephen Jones keeps saying, "Oh, those contract years, those guys are up on those contracts." So he kind of, is he thinking that Malik Collins is going to play out of his mind and he's going to have to pay him?
If he stays healthy,
he's got to stay healthy. I keep watching him go through those bags, and I go, "Please make it, please make it, please make it, please make it." Oh, could he make it?
Because that's how he hurt himself.
It's a bag.
He's got to be in the top 5 of performers in practice.
Oh, there's
this
no
camp,
question.
Right?
Yeah.
He's got to be. Okay, it wouldn't be a show this year without contract talk right now. So we've got to touch on that when we get back.
And I want one for Malik Collins.
Mickey's got a long list of contract notes. He wants to talk about Malik Collins as well. We'll do that next on Talkin' Cowboys.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in 1 lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you want the most interesting, up-to-the-minute Dallas Cowboys news straight from the Star in Frisco? How about exclusive and on command? That's right, news and nuggets you can't find anywhere else. With our exclusive Cowboys content on Alexa, you can have all the answers, secrets, stories, and more. What's Stephen Jones thinking during a game? What's Joe Looney's favorite pregame meal? We take your questions to Cowboys players and coaches, and you can hear the answers directly back to you. Just say, Alexa, open Dallas Cowboys.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a... thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine being shipwrecked on a desert island, alone. Glass-like curls of surf pound the shore with Dr. Pepper-colored waves. Surrounded by desire, but you can't drink it because it's the ocean. Fish live in there. The only thing you want is Dr. Pepper, and you can't have it.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Welcome back to Oxnard, California. Cowboys practicing once again this afternoon, 5:30 Central Time-ish. Stay tuned to DallasCowboys.com all day long for coverage.
Coach Garrett, Training Camp Live.
Coach Garrett.
Periscope Live. Got a lot of things going on today.
2 o'clock Central.
Got a show after us, too.
Training Camp Live. The break is coming up right after this. And Mickey, my goodness, look at that.
He filled up a legal pad.
Look at that chicken scratch.
Only Boston Legal could fill up a pad like that.
Is that all contract related?
It's Stephen Jones' interviews yesterday.
Did you transcribe them all?
I was writing it down as he was going.
So you went from station to station with him?
No, I just listened to it once because I figured the same thing was going to happen again.
Did he change it up any?
I don't think so. I didn't see anything new break out that people wanted to quote him and didn't talk to him.
You feel like he got his message out?
Yeah, he got the message out.
You're about to get the message out
sure
for him here.
Because when they asked him,
Mickey gets
I think
sushi.
the first question.
Mickey's going to get some sushi, and he's going to get this message out.
The first question was, so what did you think about the news that Zeke might sit out the entire season if he doesn't get a new contract? And Steven said, news to us, doesn't change anything.
There you go.
And it's like, okay, battle's on, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought the other thing, and see, I had heard this before we left for training camp, that the negotiations with all three of them really weren't going, and nothing was happening. They really weren't talking that much. And I was told that I'd be surprised if anything happened before they started camp, and it might not happen till they get back from camp. And Steven said yesterday, I think you could easily get out of Oxnard before anything gets done, not until we get back home.
There you go.
So maybe before the season. And he also said he would not be terrified if Dak had to play out his contract this year, that if that's the way it worked out, that's the way it worked out. They asked him, is he frustrated that they can't get anything done? And he said, I think there is frustration on their part. I'm not frustrated.
True.
So they're holding strong. And he used these 2 words I thought were key to this whole thing. He said it's a distribution dilemma that we have to figure out.
That is a good phrase.
And that's what he's talking about. And it's not just those 3 guys, but he's looking down the road. Like I said, Malik Collins, Jalen Smith, Byron Jones, the bunch of guys, Anthony Brown,
absolutely,
La'el Collins.
Absolutely.
They would like to try to keep these. We're assuming they can't. They would like to try. And so that's why, as he pointed out, he goes, you know what, when we're negotiating these contracts, I'm not trying to save us money. I'm trying to save money for the team so we can have a team and keep some of these good young players.
Well, yeah, and he also said, I would love
good stuff right there, Mickey.
I would love to have this problem every year where we have so many solid draft picks that we've got to re-sign them all. Don't feel sorry for him. It's just the situation they're in because they have done a nice job drafting. building on that, his quote was, "We're dividing up the pie, and it's Jerry and I's final call to decide who gets what. Is it a tough one? Of course it is. It's a tough deal. But at the end of the day, we all want them to have contracts they're happy with. That's hard to do. At the same time, they've got to understand we've got to keep some other players on this football team."
Can I ask a question to both of you, and from what you've heard? If they could get one or two guys to take deals of the top guys, maybe a Dak or Zeke or Amari, that isn't a top 3 deal, does that kind of set precedence for what they maybe do in the future? And I mean it in this way that people look at it and say, well, wait a minute, Amari took less, Dak took less, Zeke took less. Does that help them in the future with other people saying, well, wait a minute, they could go back to the Malik Collinses and the Byron Joneses and guys like that and say, well, wait a minute, our top guys are taking less. You can't take less to help the team?
But the difference will be those guys will become free agents next year.
Yeah.
And
so it won't matter.
It
won't matter.
They're not getting franchised, so they'll sit there and go, well, I'll see what the market bears.
And they'll lose
Anthony
those guys.
Hitchens.
Yeah, Anthony Hitchens.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Would have loved to have him
absolutely.
back. But the market said, or Kansas City says, oh, here, we'll pay him this much.
And it's his best shot to go get
right.
a great deal.
And you gotta do that.
You
Secure
can't fault Anthony Hitchens for doing what he did.
I can remember
Byron Jones will be probably the same.
When Chris Bonial became a free agent. And he wanted to stay with the Cowboys. And Steve Hoffman basically told him,
leave.
You're a kicker.
Yeah.
And if they're going to sign you to that big of a signing bonus, you owe it to your family to do
leave.
it. Yeah. And he did, and it was miserable because you're kicking in Philadelphia for 2 months in bad weather.
Right. Yeah.
And he I don't think he liked it. And he only lasted a couple. I don't think he made
I
it
was
through
with him
his
for
3-year
Yeah, I was
deal,
with him.
right?
Yeah, I was with him for a year.
So guys have to do that. But if you have the money available, you can take a preemptive strike maybe before free agency starts and get a deal done in February. Now, they would probably tell you, you're going to have to pay me for the right to keep me out of free agency. Like, I need to go check. But if they have good seasons, then it's tougher. But with these guys, the franchise tag's always looming, right?
Yes.
Any of the three. And next year you get a transition tag, too, because it's the last year of the CBA. So you can actually sort of protect 2 guys and not just one. So, and Steven continues to say we've made generous offers to both guys. And
Zeke specifically said the offer, I'm not going to get into specifics, but a very generous offer.
And I think I wish people would just do research and find out what these deals are really worth.
Right.
Not what the agent puts out there, like Michael Thomas, 5 years, $100 million. Well, it's not $100 million. It's 96 to start with, and if you look where the guarantees run out, it's either 3 for 45 or 4 for 61, which is $15 million a year. So if you went to Amari Cooper today and said, "Okay, I'll give you $15 million a year," would you do it?
Yeah.
If he would sign that, they keep saying, well, okay, you got to go off of Michael Thomas's contract.
That's what it was.
Look inside Michael Thomas's contract. Look inside Carson Wentz's contract. That really, when you're looking at the guarantees and see when these guys get extensions, that base salary that first year still counts.
Right.
So his contract averages out to 4 years, $26 million. It's not $32 million. Yeah. The big number's $32 million, but there's all this money stuffed into the last 2 years of base salary that's not guaranteed. And the same thing with Todd Gurley and the same thing with Le'Veon Bell. You have to – I don't want to hear this market stuff. I almost said the wrong thing. But seriously.
Family show.
It's
Mom's watching.
The market is what your team can afford, not what somebody else got paid, and you got to get more than they get.
Can I ask you a question off Periscope? I think this is pretty good. I'm going to put you guys on the spot, but in a good way, I think. We'll see. Which Collins would you re-sign?
Oh, boy.
If you could only re-sign one. Is that fair, Mickey? Is that a fair question? Malik or Lyle?
I think this season will answer that question.
Yeah.
Because are they both going to play at a high level?
You hope.
I like what I'm seeing from La'el Collins.
I do too.
He looks like a better player right now at right tackle. But again,
I'll jump in the water.
And here's another consideration. they don't have anybody ready to step in and take a spot.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's my question.
I feel better about the tackles than I do the offensive tackles.
Well, here's my question.
And you have Tristan Hill sitting in the wings.
Yeah, unless you're telling me you're going to move. But I don't know anything about Connor McGovern, only by what I've seen at Penn State.
I was going to say you
or
drafted
Joe Looney, who's a free agent too, by the way.
You've drafted young players behind both spots.
Yeah.
But you don't know about either guy yet. Can they afford Lyle Collins?
Oh, I know.
I don't know. We'll see what Malik Collins could get next year on the open market. But what offensive tackles of Lyle's caliber can pay? At some point, how many resources can you devote to that offensive line? I mean, it's a question they're going to have to answer a year from now.
Oh, I think they're looking at it right now.
I think if he has a good season and he says, I want to test the market, then they're not going to be able to re-sign him.
No.
That's my feeling too. I mean,
but if they get it done before that, then maybe they can. It's a matter of what does his agent think? The agent has to do some good homework.
I am thinking Lyle Collins is a third-round pick in 2021 from a compensatory standpoint, right? Well,
and Connor Williams is your right tackle next year?
Yeah,
maybe.
I think I could protect myself better. I don't know, because I think I protect myself at defensive tackle, but if I can move Connor Williams to right tackle and say if I knew McGovern could fill in and be the left guard, if I knew that, I might lean towards signing Malik Collins. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of how I feel. But
that'll depend on Tristan Hill.
Exactly, on Tristan.
Is that a Periscope question?
That was a Periscope
question.
And
then also, what
I liked it.
What are you doing with Tyrone Crawford? Because he's still got a couple of years left, I think.
Yeah, see.
Has he got 1 year left on his deal?
I think one more after
You're
this.
right. He's got more than one.
Yeah. See, to me, that's kind of one of those where you're looking at if those guys play. But he's been so good for you. I mean, everybody. I know when he first signed that contract, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, they overpaid." He's doing things in the box score you don't see.
He's a Swiss Army knife.
See, and the other guy that doesn't come up is what happens with Robert Quinn.
Yeah, I think Robert Quinn.
Is he a one and done?
What happens with Randall Cobb?
Yeah. See, that's what
I'm telling you, man. This team could look a lot different next year.
Oh no,
you re-sign your top 3 guys.
Sure,
That's what Stephen Jones is talking about. You got to be able to keep some of these other
guys.
guys.
Are all betting on themselves.
Oh, no question.
We have a good year, and I'm a free agent.
No question.
We got a lot of 1-year deals.
Yep. Mickey, Mike Bradley says America needs to listen to you.
Thank you.
Oh no, that's all we need is.
Tell him
encouragement.
Tell him I'm trying.
That's because you're Italian.
Tell him I'm trying to save the world. Okay?
Are you trying to save the world?
I'm running out of time. Out of time.
One show at a time.
I didn't know your mission was that broad.
It is.
Okay.
Everybody said they would take Malik Collins easy. Everybody's lining up for Malik Collins out there.
Well,
I don't know, man. I think that's a great question.
The lifeblood of this team for the last 5 years has been the offensive line.
Mickey's right, though. Mickey's right. This is going to come down to how well and can you get a deal done with say Lyle Collins before. But you're right about the resources in the offensive line. But you also drafted that kid to play, I think, that McGovern. Not to play this year, but to play next year.
And just because he's not practicing right now, that doesn't affect his long-term viability.
But that wasn't a premeditated decision. That happened on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like they were thinking, okay, let's get us a guard that can go in and start so we can move Connor McGovern. They just qualified it when the guy was still on the board.
It was the blinking light.
To pick. That's right.
Folks are reminding us a little bit here. If they couldn't afford Ron Leary, they won't afford Lyle Collins. Is that fair?
Ron Leary was older, wasn't he?
I think Ron Leary. I think they're about the similar. Very similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that was his first free agent.
Yeah, but that was back then. So you can't compare.
Oh, I know. You're right.
4 years ago, because you don't know what the salary cap looked like.
Here comes the Lyle Collins love.
Here we go.
Here they
Come
go.
on, let's have it.
Yeah, they're there. That was a great question, though. Thank you very much for Periscope for that. Appreciate that. Really do.
Love Periscope putting us on the spot like that.
I do.
All right, let's take our final break. When we come back, I got some questions for you guys.
You're going to put us on the spot?
Yeah, let's do a little progress report.
We're going to save the world.
Mickey's going to save the world next on Talkin' Cowboys.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
It's time for Tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup, and now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper soft coolers at otterbox.com.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
It can be hard to find the right resource for learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
He's saving the world one football podcast at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, Mickey Spagnola.
So you know all about
Well
what
done,
the pros
Robert.
use? What?
To save the
You know
world?
all about what the pros use.
Yes.
To save your face.
Ah.
Okay.
Jack Black is the official men's care brand of the Dallas Cowboys. Get your Jack Black Playmaker 4 JB faves plus a full-size lip balm for just $10 with free shipping at getjackblack.com. Use that code Cowboys, and they've come up with a new deal on Jack Black. You can get skin replenishment.
Yeah.
Meaning that you could put an
Need the
order
hair
in
replenishment.
and they'll replenish it in a certain amount of time.
Oh,
so
wow.
you don't have to keep ordering and run out like some of us run out.
With all the hard work you do on this Jack Black, I would love a big box of it to show up at the Star. I really would. I would love a big box, and Mickey said, "Okay, this is your 6 items, Rob. This Bill. This is, and these are my 12."
You can swing that, right? You're in touch with the marketing people.
You know what's really good? That's the sunscreen.
Oh no, it is good.
Yeah,
you're not wrong
I mean,
about that.
It's saving my forehead.
You're not wrong about that. Yeah, absolutely.
Something's got to save my forehead.
All right, welcome back to Talking Cowboys.
That's 3 minutes we won't get back.
Yeah, Mickey dragging us.
Good stuff.
It is good stuff.
All right, out of the ditch. We got 10 minutes left. I want to go through some progress reports. All right, some guys that you know about, some guys maybe you don't know about as well. Give me like an overall view of Dak Prescott's camp right now. I mean, yesterday was a really good day. How do you feel he's been overall in camp?
I think he's thrown the ball awfully well, and I like some of the decisions he's making when he's got nothing. And he's starting to throw the ball in the ground on purpose. Now, I haven't seen him pull a Troy Aikman yet when somebody screws up and Troy just throws the ball in disgust into the ground. He hasn't moved to that part yet, but I've seen him throw the ball away. And, you know, one of those interceptions the other day, he basically was sacked twice. He just flung it downfield.
He did.
And it got intercepted. It's like, oh, he threw an interception. Okay, watch the play. Don't watch the end of the play. Watch the whole play. I think he's been awfully good, and I think he's doing a much better job with his footwork. He's setting himself to throw instead of throwing off one foot or off balance. He's done a better job of that.
He's been challenged.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the fact he's been challenged. This defense has given him some things that's been made it difficult for him, and I think that's good. I think, like Mickey says, he's had to get rid of the football. He's had to make decisions. He's had to move around. He's had to fight for things. It hasn't been easy for him. He's had some days where he's really been on point throwing the football. A lot of that has to do with Cobb getting open, Gallup getting open, Davis getting open, guys getting open for him. Those guys have got to win on the outside to help him. The tight ends getting open. When he's had guys that had the ability to get the football to him, he's done a really good job of that. I think, like I say, the best thing I love about this camp so far at Dak Prescott is he's been challenged, and I think when it comes to the time to play these games for real, I think he's going to appreciate how hard it was for him at training camp to make play after play after play, tight window throws, all day long, some good, some bad, but I think at the end of the day it's going to be beneficial for him.
The other thing is you don't see him when a play breaks down take off and start running. He's trying to figure things out.
Mobile,
right?
Yeah.
Where can I go somewhere with the ball, or maybe I just throw it away? Compare that to what you saw yesterday with Mike White.
Yes.
He's still hesitant to cut it loose, and he ends up running with the ball.
It
seems like more than he throws it.
Yeah.
And that's either, I don't know if those
Sometimes
guys
it's protection.
They're not getting open, but he takes off, and it's like.
There's a new game we play on the sidelines. It's when Mike White, first pass is always a check down. It's like you could win money on that, by the way. His first passes, but maybe that gets him going, But he needs to let it fly more. We've talked about that in camp. But Dak overall, like Mickey said, a lot of good things there. Being challenged, that's even a better thing.
Next,
Layton Vander Esch. Seeing things different this camp than last camp.
You know what I think Layton Vander Esch is learning? I think Layton Vander Esch having to play against Jason Witten is a good thing for him because he's playing some things in coverage. He can make every single tackle. If they were bringing him to the ground, you would see Layton Vander Esch have 16 tackles every day,
Yeah.
But I think where he's learning is the coverage aspect of his game. He's always been a physical player, a lateral player, a guy that gets after you. But having to deal with a guy like Jason Witten as a blocker on him a little bit at times, or a guy that gets to him, or Connor Williams, those guys getting up on him, playing with your hands. But I go back to those coverage things, like when they get down the red zone, he has to carry Witten a little bit, or it gets in the individual drills over here where they're playing against the tight ends and the backs. Mm-hmm. He's having to do that. I think that aspect is starting to, because he has some really good coverage, and then he has somewhere, the old man got him today. Old man figured out how to separate. He's, not many people can lean on Layton Vander Esch and separate. Jason Witten can, because I saw it yesterday. It's like it happened down in the red zone, and Vander Esch walked up to Witten afterwards. I mean, he didn't play with him. He didn't play with him last year.
Yes.
So he doesn't really know Jason Witten. He knows the stories of Jason Witten, but he doesn't know Jason Witten. So he walked up to Jason Witten, and they walked together back in towards the huddle. And it was kind of like Vander Esch was picking his brain.
He was asking questions.
He was like,
right.
He's like, you just bullied me, but how did you bully me? And Witten was trying to tell him, like, well, maybe he said, you gave me outside lever, you gave me an outside look. I knew I could lean on you, and I could get back inside. If you play me more balanced, And I think that's where I'm learning about Layton Vander Esch, the player, a little bit.
I wrote that note down because I saw it when it happened.
Yeah.
And Witten was more than glad to
they just walked. They walked two really tall men that are great football players, walk together and talking about how they got better, how to get better.
That's
the other
thing.
And the other thing I've noticed about him, his confidence has soared.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he's talking more. He's telling people where to move.
Yes.
It's almost like he's little Sean Lee out there.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, one time I saw him telling Jalen, hey, over there,
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
And so I don't think he would, as a rookie, was doing that. He seems like he has more command of what's going on the field.
One thing Ben Bloom, linebackers coach, told us was it's little things for him. It's diagnosing things, pre-snap reads, because at the linebacker position, one step can make a huge difference in terms
It's
of
whether you get there or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that in terms, and also, building his upper body strength in terms, like you were talking about getting off blocks.
Yeah.
Guys trying to get to the second level on him, that's important as well. Jameis Olawale, fullback.
Being used a lot more.
Yes.
And yesterday was the first day I noticed we had two backs in the backfield. Two backs one being Pollard,
yes,
one being Alfred Morris. So now we're starting to see, okay, little creative wrinkle here. But we have seen the fullback play in this offense offset. And I mean offset, when you play I-backs, you're straight. When you're offset, you play to one side or the other. So they're trying to take advantage of Olawale as being a guy that can maybe be a point of attack player. One of my favorite players that we've ever had here was Keith Davis. Because I liked Keith Smith. I'm sorry. So Keith Davis did back in the day.
Yeah,
that was
way back in the day. Keith Smith.
Yep.
And I loved him because even though he was maybe not right all the time, he did it at such a violent pace and a violence in there blocking that it was like, okay, I get that. He's making a mistake, but with Olawale, I see more of a controlled guy. And I don't know if that's a good thing, but, I mean, he's capable of catching the ball. We've seen that. Capable of making plays on the outside. I just wish my fullback was that glass eater, and I don't know if he's a glass eater.
He's not Bronco Nagurski, okay?
Yeah.
He's a polite fullback.
He is a very polite fullback. That's a
Lusaka polite?
Yeah. Oh, very good.
Yeah, there you go. That's the old back in the day.
That's
guy.
going way
That's
back.
a number 39 that we didn't think about yesterday on our list.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we just went right to Brandon Carr.
We went to Brandon Carr, right. But no, I think that's where, to me, I like the fact that they're thinking about him as a pass catcher, even though that Indianapolis game would not have told you that. Mm-hmm. But he can catch the football. He's a really good special teams player. He's always going to be downfield in coverage and be positive that way. So I think they're going to continue to have a plan for him.
Even some one-back.
Yeah.
They've been using him as a one-back in nickel situations, too.
Because he blocks, he can pick up. He's a bigger guy. He's done some good if you watch him play with the Raiders, that's something he was actually pretty good at.
Yeah.
Stepping up and picking up guys on the blitz.
Okay, one more. Cheeto. Thoughts on his camp so far?
Got no problems with what he's doing.
No, I don't.
To me, he's shutting down that side of the field.
Physical.
Yeah, I think to me that you talk about a guy that knows how to go about his business the right way. Not real flashy the way he plays. He's steady. He's tough. He understands how important it is to play really good technique. You see him when he drops and drives and turns. Everything about him is with a purpose, not much wasted motion with the way he's playing. They've challenged him down the field. He's been able to carry routes inside, adjust, get his hands on balls. That's something. Give me those corners that can challenge inside, play the vertical routes, and then when the ball's thrown short, rally to knock the guy out of bounds or make the tackle. I think Awuzie has done all those things and more.
All right, a bonus one.
I thought you were going to ask about the kicker.
Let's go with that. Brett Maher.
This is turning into a very bad trend, and this is scary if you're the Dallas Cowboys. The fact that you've had two drives, two-minute drives that have put you in reasonable shape to make field goals to win games. I know it's very windy out here. The afternoon practice, if you're out here, you'll understand the goalposts move, the ribbons move, the tops of the trees above the goalpost. You would swear you're playing golf in Ireland as much as the wind moves and
you're right.
All this out here.
Yeah.
But his job is to make 32-yard field goals. His job's to make 35-yard field goals. His job's to make a 47-yard field goal. And especially if the drill needs to be finished, if the situation is for the win, you're not making the field goal, that doesn't bode well for not only the minds of the coaching staff, but also your teammates around him. Can you trust him? I think there's some doubt about that now.
And it's deflating.
It's very deflating.
You're in a 2-minute drill, and it's happened twice now, and the kicks have only been like 42 yards.
Exactly.
Or maybe
reasonable,
less
very
one time.
reasonable kicks.
And you're driving, and you feel like, okay, we did our job now. Go ahead and finish it. And then he misses. And
well,
it's
it was a 32-yarder in the blue-white scrimmage that
good
was hooked.
Snap,
right.
Good snap.
And yesterday it was 42.
Yeah.
And then when he did, he had a nice day Saturday, 6 of 6.
Right.
And then the first one yesterday was 33 yards, and it was the ugliest kick I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was like a line drive helicopter.
Yeah.
And it's like, You can't have that. That's
That's
an extra point.
Those kicks from 50-plus last year you felt really good about. It's those money kicks from 40 to 49, and of course the short ones.
He won the Atlanta game. He won the Detroit game.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
Yeah.
But he lost. They missed. They had the critical miss against the Redskins in Washington. That's the problem with, you can't feel like, if you're Dak Prescott and you drive and drive and drive and drive and you have 4 seconds left and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, we did this.
Yeah, but he did make that one against Washington.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Snap infraction.
Yeah.
Snap infraction.
All right.
Those guys don't need to invent calls.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like
I've seen far worse.
It's like the Zeke when he lowered his head, right?
Yeah.
The other guy lowered his head. It was like two battering. They should have been a double foul if you're going to call it on one guy.
Okay, put that
and then
on.
the guy wouldn't let me have my way when I asked the question. He got out of it by saying, I didn't see the film of it. It's your video. You should know what's on there.
Tony Corrente.
Yep.
Wanted no part of Mickey.
Put that on your Save the World docket.
I'm going to
hold the referees accountable.
Well,
all right?
that's why I got my white hat.
All right. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Brian. Thanks, everybody, for listening, producing. Caden and Will next door. Talk to you guys on Thursday.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!